Peace, peace, peace. All right. Peace. Live here, live there. And come on, YouTube, baby. Catch up with us. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and now we are live on YouTube. Okay, look at Mo getting her tech game up. I'm trying to be on all the platforms. So Grand Risings greetings. It's 9 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock where I'm at, Eastern Standard Time. It's your girl Morgan Renee Myers tuning in with you all for another reading of Feeding the Soul. Hold on, this lighting, child. Feeding the Soul, because that's my business. Finding our way to joy, love, and freedom by none other than Auntie Tabitha Brown. Give it up for Tabitha Brown. She's doing amazing work out here of the Lord. I want to first show off this $30 shirt dress I done bought. It says grow your own food. Yes, because that is the mission, child. We need to be growing our own food. And I feel like it's just so necessary and it's so fun. Once you start doing it, you're going to want to continue to grow your own food. So I'm about to get into this reading. So far, I've read the introduction. I've read the first chapter, and now we're on the second chapter. And Auntie Tab is just, giving us her journey while dropping little insights and beautiful quotes. And so we're going to hop right into it. Chapter 2 is entitled, You Have to Fix It First. Dreams do not come true just because you dream them. It's hard work that makes things happen. It's hard work that creates change. Let me pause right there. That's the one thing that's different about myself when I do these audio readings. I interject my own opinions and have conversations along the way. So I was watching, I follow a YouTuber by the name of Lead Farmer 73, and he's always giving great advice on, he's a prepper, a survivalist, if you will, with different things that are going on here in America. Anything can happen at any moment. Apparently, we're in a food shortage, which I'll save my opinions about that. But nonetheless, the brother is always giving great advice and tips on things that a lot of us don't really give any attention to, or we just leave it to men in our lives to handle, such as having solar power generators, backup batteries, if you have the land and the space to raise livestock, growing your own. Like, he gives a lot of tips. So in it, he was talking about people sometimes say to him, oh, you must have a lot of money, or, a lot of these tools and things that you are suggesting are not easy to purchase. You must have a lot of money, you must be rich, da 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 da. And so he went on a whole rant. He did a whole video on a rant, basically stating that that's not necessarily the case. He just used what he got, his common sense and saving, and he also puts in the work. He said and then he mentioned prayer. He said a lot of us are not praying. We asking for things, but we're not diligently praying and seeking counsel from our Creator, and then we're not putting in the work. Faith without works is dead. We can have all the gifts and talents, and we could pray and plead all we want, but if we're not willing to put in the work that is required for some of these things we say we want, do we really want them, or are we just talking, or we just hope it fall in our lap? And even if the opportunity did fall in our lap, will we be prepared to handle it, because we haven't been putting in no work, aka practice? So that was a message that is still holding true on today. Dreams do not come true just because you dream them. It's hard work that makes things happen. It's hard work that creates changes. Shonda Rhimes. Who's she the one that wrote what's that movie? That series with Viola Davis. Is that the one? How to Get Away with Murder? She wrote that? Or did she write Scandal? I can't keep up. So, okay, nonetheless. Tab said, I love y'all so much that I'd be totally remiss if I didn't say the hard things. Here's a hard thing. Taking ownership of your life might just mean you have to stop saying, oh, fix it, Jesus, when you know you are going to keep doing the same things that are breaking it. Too many of us are praying for healing, but still eating the same things that are making us sick. Talk to him, Tab. We keep asking God to heal us from lung cancer, but are we still smoking cigarettes? We're desperate to lower our cholesterol levels, but are we still eating all the same fatty meats? How does that work, honey? We've all by now heard one definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. The bottom line is this: whatever we long for in our lives, we have to do our part. I'm going to pause right here. She may mention this in her story, but something I'm learning, I was watching something last night, And I usually don't watch a lot of TV. It actually was YouTube. I was crocheting. So when I'm crocheting, I try to watch something to busy me sometimes. And I ran across something that was on childhood obesity. It was following this 12-year-old girl around who was 357 pounds, a little boy who's 4 and he's 101 pounds. And it was showing the parents, and I'm like, I see where they get it from. Like, the parents aren't far off. The parents didn't have a healthy disposition about them. And yes, we know being fat doesn't equate to being unhealthy, nor does being skinny, because you can be skinny and have health problems. But let's be totally transparent and be mindful and aware that the more weight that we do put on our bones, our body cannot handle but so much. Okay, so we know that there are going to be certain discomforts and health consequences that come with being excessively obese. We know that. And it's okay to love the skin you're in until you get down to what you want to get down into. But we also got to stop lying to ourselves and be truthful. But what I was about to say about watching one sister, she cooks. And it was so funny because, I cook and I do something called a community kitchen. And so she was like, the interviewer was like, yeah, his mom works from home during the day, making meals to serve to the community. And so it saw people coming in and out and buying stuff. And the interviewer interviewed one of her customers and asked them, like, do you know how much fat and sugar and stuff is in this? He's like, yeah, are you thinking about health? And he was like, we just come to eat and we think about health later. And there's a lot of us that do that. And I've heard that before. Like, one life to live, may as well enjoy it. Or, people don't mind. People are aware and understand that I'll do what I do now and I'm going to suffer the consequences of being sick later. And that does not have to be a reality. We don't have to grow old and get sick and have a dismal end to our life. It doesn't have to go that way. It goes that way because generationally, how we choose to continue eating and lack of exercise or whatever. But nonetheless, something that stuck out to me, because I also cook for the community, I could resonate with this sister, and I saw the pain that her and her daughter was going through. Her daughter getting picked on and very overweight and having a difficult time breathing and just doing day-to-day things. But the mom, like I said, was also obese. And the interviewer asked her, well, do you know, like, have you considered healthy or what? And the dad was even going along. It's a mental thing. The dad was even going to the point where he was saying, like, we're a pretty healthy family. She came out healthy, 10 pounds, and like, and she was like, what's your definition of healthy? Because just because you having collard greens, but by the time you done cooked it with salt pork, and you cook it with pork every meal of the day, child, that ain't healthy. Just because you had a little green, the green is being saturated in damn pork fat. So the mom was like, well, yeah, I never have been taught healthy. I don't know. I would have to learn. And that's when a light bulb clicked for me. What I'm doing is important and necessary, and I'm not always on cue. I don't post every little, time I go astray, but I know within myself what I need to work on and what I choose to do. And my body tells me. I don't need social media people to tell me anything. So, we need to be able to teach, or people in my position that are learning to grow food and that are prepping food and are focused on plant-based. We have to help our brothers and sisters and basically treat them like toddlers. We got to go to the grocery store with them. We got to have, prep lists. We got to have, and then also these people got to be willing to do their own work. They got to be willing to, because it gets draining when people are at that wit's end where it's like, oh, my health is declining. And then they reach out to you wanting to know everything when you could have been building your, I don't know what the call I was about to say, repertoire, but you could have been building your arsenal this whole time, finding out what different herbs do, making little YouTube. As much time as we spend online on our phones, we have the ability to do what we need to with our time. So you could be making YouTube playlists of healthy foods to eat, healthy herbs, how to cook this, how to veganize this, vegans. You can type in vegan, whatever meal you already like, and type vegan, and there will be somebody doing a recipe on there. So at some point we have to take accountability for ourselves and our lack of putting in the information. I get it that you've never been taught to cook healthy, don't know where to eat, where to start. But we got Google and YouTube now. There's really no excuses. You could really learn. You could be self-study. And that's what I am. And so sometimes it gets a little frustrating because it's like people come to you when they're on the brink of death. And it's like, why'd you wait till now to want to start listening to me? I always got slick stuff to say about what I eat when I'm around, when we at cookouts and stuff like that. But now when you really in need of some aid to your health, I'm who you call on because I know some things. And I'm just learning as I grow. Like, I'm YouTubing the hell out of everything. Like, that's really, and I'm paying attention to nature. That's about it. But enough of that. We really, that's one of the biggest lessons that I've been learning. Like, people really have to be taught how to make these meals. It's one thing to buy it prep, but then even teaching you how to go about the next step of making it a meal. And I don't know if y'all are leaving comments or not. It's not showing up if you are. All right, so we keep asking God to heal us from lung cancer, but are we still smoking cigarettes? We're desperate to lower our cholesterol levels, but are we still eating all the fatty meats? How does that work, honey? We've all by now heard one definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. The bottom line is this: whatever changes we long for in our lives, we have to do our part. And yes, I hear you out there. Tab, what I eat or smoke is my business. It is, baby. It really is. And please know that I'm not judging you one bit, but I do love you enough to suggest that if you choose to still do those things, you have to right size your expectations of divine intervention when the outcomes align with your choices and not your heart's desires. Tell them, Tab, out of love. When I was finally able to make it to Los Angeles in pursuit of my acting dreams, I just knew that something or somebody was going to be waiting on me when I got into town. I heard God clearly, and my spirit had been awakened in a way that propelled me all the way from Greensboro, North Carolina, hey, my hometown, to LA. But guess what I learned mighty quickly when I got there? Nobody was waiting for me. I literally had to start from the bottom, from scratch. But I knew I had this dream. I had goals. I wanted to be in entertainment, to be an actress. Me too. And I suppose I could have sat in my apartment wanting and desire, but never actually doing what needed to be done to get where I wanted to go. So while I didn't know anyone and didn't know much at all about the business, honey, I did know that I'd been taught long ago by my mother and father, faith without works is dead. I had the faith that I could one day become a working entertainer, but I also had to do the work. God put this dream in my heart at a very early age, but he didn't just put it there for me to sit on it. God said, listen, if you go ahead and do what you need to do, I will do my part. What I needed to do was act. It was and is my passion. Yes, it's like breathing for me. When I don't do it, if I go too long without performing, it's like my air is cut off. So much so that I start to not feel well. I think I have such a strong connection to acting because I see it as my opportunity to disappear. I get to become someone else. I often get to do things I wouldn't be able to do in my regular life, like play someone mentally ill and or be very mean. I get to be the doctor or the lawyer, prostitute or drug addict. I just get to explore the minds and hearts of the characters I bring to life, and it helps me understand myself and others better. Let me pause right there. I want to say hey to everybody. Hey, watchers on YouTube. I haven't done many live streams on here, even though I've hit the 1,000 mark to be able to do so. So I appreciate you tuning in. YouTube over here on Facebook. Hey, Kristen girl. I too am an actress. I've been acting since a young age through elementary, middle, high school. I took a break in college because I didn't think I could do both. I didn't think I could do school and theater. It's a lot. But I can agree with Tab. Acting can be exhilarating. I have not... Okay, let me take that back. I was just about to say I have not done filming. I've only done stage, but I recently was in a movie premiere, which if you guys are interested, inbox me. I can send you the link to this movie called Sacred Path, and that was filmed. Excuse me, but I'm used to stage acting, and film acting and stage acting is different in the sense of stage acting. You really gotta, you really gotta delve into the character. We're taking a commercial break with Live Alkaline Water, black-owned water on black-owned land. You might as well buy it from the Black Woman and Man. We do ship all over the United States and the world. Is on locally sourced land out here in Yadkinville, North Carolina, indigenous land. It's on a mineral bed-based property, meaning we don't have to add any minerals or chemicals to it. We just filter it out to get the sediments out, really. And then it's bottled by a black-owned company. So the land and the bottlers are our people. That's your commercial break from Live Alkaline Water. All right, back to it. So, but most important, I get to tell the stories of people who might not otherwise have a voice. Everybody has a story to tell, no matter where they're from, what they've done, good or bad, or what they do. So to be able to embody those lived experiences and create them on the screen gives me life. And truthfully, breathing life into a character is just so much fun and never feels like work. What I was saying was, I'd be getting sidetracked. Stage acting, you really got to delve into your character, and it's live, it's on, it's right then and now. So if you mess up, you got to keep going. If you forget your line, your supporting actors are supposed to help pick you up if they can to get you back on track. And it can be very nerve-wracking. That has happened once where somebody skipped to the damn end of the play and we had to bring it back, and only we knew that we was fucking up. But whereas with film acting, you can stop, you can pause, the director can give you takes, you can, like I said, I mean, you still need to get into your character, but I just think it's a little more challenging and rewarding when you do it on stage. It never feels like work. I suppose there's also the feeling I get when I see people enjoying themselves because of my work. Making mama and daddy laugh at cookouts with my little joke book was so rewarding. It felt so good. And then growing up and doing theater in school and performing in community theater, there was something fulfilling in hearing people gasp for air when I did something on stage. When they laugh out loud or sit with tears streaming down their faces from my performance, it was such an affirmation of the gift God has given me. That's exactly how I feel. Yes. So I began to study. I was in acting class for years. I will still take an acting class today, honey, because that's my business. I auditioned for all kinds of roles and took some that didn't even pay just for the experience. Done plenty of that. I took many acting workshops and continuously honed my craft. Yes, I wanted that big opportunity. I was waiting for it. But you know what else I was doing while I was waiting? I was working. God certainly controls everything, but I honestly believe that he honors us for doing our part. He is looking for our commitment and investment in that thing we feel called to do. I am a living, breathing witness to this, honey. Yes, I prayed. I created vision boards and wrote extensive plans in my journals, but I also woke up every day and worked toward those things I envisioned. I've been on so many sets, and it always blows me away that I get to do what I do. I show up wanting nothing in return other than to do my job and to do it well. But then a director, producer, or cast member says something like, "Oh my God, that was amazing." And it just snaps me into the reality of this gift. All I can say in that money is, "Oh wow, I thank you." I remember when I had a role in an episode of Will and Grace. With the exception of an independent film I'd done that year, this was my first acting job in the couple of years since I returned to auditioning. I hadn't really been on a studio lot. I was so nervous, but also excited. It was also my first time in front of a live studio audience, so that immediately took me back to doing theater and being able to hear the audience laugh. That role really gave me new life, a new purpose, and inspired me to want to do more. I thought, people need this. People need to laugh. I remember sitting in that studio after we wrapped, having hit my lines every time and heard how the crowd just organically laughed. My heart was full. At the end of a taping, they do a curtain call where they introduce the cast. Everyone comes out and takes their bow. When they called my name, the audience cheered. They remembered me. I thought, things can get any better. Things can't get any better. I suppose God said, watch me. At the end of the taping, Max Muchnick, the creator of Will and Grace, walked up to me, shook my hand, and said, "Wow, you are such a professional. You're so funny, and you really made the show tonight." That was huge for me. It blew my mind. But honey, God wasn't done yet. Fast forward a year later, and now Max Muchnick and I are developing my own show for ABC. Wow, go Tab. I love to hear it. It's about networking too, and showing up and being yourself in the right spaces. For those that don't know, I went to the book tour that Tab had, and I went with intentions on networking. I had hopes to meet her. I try not to. I'm kind of, I won't say weird when it comes to celebrities, because I don't really follow a lot of people that Grand Risings, my YouTube family. I don't really get too caught up in celebrity, because I understand what it feels like to kind of have some form of popularity and people just want to bum rush you and take pictures and feel like they know you. And so, but I have a definite mutual respect, and me and Tab have so much in common. And so I made some of these earrings and gave her some oils and stuff to her sister, who ended up giving them to her. And she shouted me out on her Instagram, which was nice, and gave me some encouraging words. But all of that was intentional. I had, she used to do something called Very Good Mondays, where she opened packages and she whatever people send her, she show off and stuff like that. So I definitely wanted to get some of my products in front of her, and I respect her, and I would love to see them on her. So it was all marketing. I was definitely hoping that I get a little attention paid to. And we're from the same area. I cook vegan food for the community. I would love to have her try some, because when she comes out here, she's always posting about the food that she eat. I don't know how people get in touch with her, but nonetheless, she made an important comment that the Muchnick just came up on her, and now they're working on the show together. It's about showing up and being yourself, who you are, where you are. And I too get a lot of opportunities presented to me just because I'm being who I am. I walk in certain spaces, the energy might be dead, or people are awkward or can't get the flow started. I'm usually the one that comes in. I can get the conversation started. Like, everybody got their role. And so you better learn how to play yours, because so many doors can open for you. And I get so much done, free, low cost, barter and trade, or just people look out because I am who I am, and I be in the spaces that I be in. And people remember that. And they may open doors and have opportunities for you that can benefit you down the line. So just by her showing up, being herself, allotted her so many opportunities, and now because of the position that this man has in the industry, she's able to have her own show develop, like something she probably couldn't even conceive that is happening. Like, that's so beautiful. I love to see it. The best person you can be is yourself. Absolutely. DOY Creations. Yes. Just be you. Stop trying to fake the funk and be like everybody else out here. Be a plastic carbon copy. Like, and it's another thing. It's okay to be inspired. Like, some people have in my area, I've politely corrected them, but some people refer to me as like Mini Tab, and I get it. We definitely have a lot in common. Like I said, we're from the same area. She's fully vegan. I am plant-based. I'm working my way there. We both are actresses. We both have funny, beautiful personalities. For the most part with me, I feel like Tab is way more gentle and patient, and I be ready to pop off and get a little snippy with you at times. So I'm still a work in progress, but I'm 30. Tab 42. She done had some life to live. And so, yeah, so some people have called me like Mini Tab, and I'm like, I get the comparison, and I'm grateful that you see me in a similar light, but also I'm my own woman on my own path, doing my own things with my own talents, gifts, and I want to be recognized for being who I am. And I really don't even need the limelight to do so. It's just that's the energy that comes with being who I am. The attention is there, the people are there, the support and love is there, the haters are there. It's a whole vibe over here. So just be who you are, and don't try to copy people because you're similar to them or you like what they got going on. Don't try to be fake to appeal to other people. Be who you are. If you being weird and quirky is your thing, be that. If you a nerd and you got a lot of information and interest in things that maybe other people aren't sharing, share that. We're like, there's so many spaces that could be filled in by you just being you. Nobody can be you better than you. So let me continue on. But yeah, fast forward. Now she developed her own show for ABC. A seed that day, me as an actor, was unknowingly planted, and now it has become back around in full bloom. I love to hear it. He remembered me. People will remember you when you stand out. When you stand out, people remember that. When you come in certain spaces and you bring your value, people remember that. Like I said, I get a lot of stuff done free, low cost, whatever. Like all the artists in my book, I'm not proud to say this, but I did not have compensation for them when I wrote the book, The Celibacy Chronicles. But the way my pitch was and how I explained the vision of what I wanted to do and give them exposure by selling, their live paintings, at my book signing and getting prints and doing things like that, which I still need to get on. They were with it. They were supportive. They were ready. Because I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent and I lost my thought. He remembered me and reached out and said, what else did I do? But people just remember, I was talking about adding value. But once I demonstrated how, them being a part of my book would assist me as well as assist them, I'm showing how I can add value. I go in certain spaces. I went to go volunteer for an event not too long ago, and I thought I was going to be doing smaller stuff, and I ended up having a bigger role. But nonetheless, I was able to assist, and those people were appreciative and they're thankful, and now they want me on a committee for their next event. And so it's like, okay, how can I add value to spaces? Sometimes we just show up and we expect everything to be done or things should be in order and they're not. And we might have the skill or ability to be the person that they need to come help it be what it needs to be. But because we're not there for that, we we miss out on certain opportunities that you just never know could be pivotal for your journey. You are dopeness, sis, and that's what makes you stand out. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's get through this book. I'm trying. Yeah, we ain't got too much longer. Let me stop interrupting. So, see, that day, me as an actor was unknowingly planted, and now it has come back around in full bloom. He remembered me, reached out, and said, "What else do you want to do?" I said, "Well, I do have this show idea. I want to be known as America's Mom. I want to tell funny stories that are relatable from the point of view of a woman, mother, and dreamer. I want to speak to the person who is struggling to keep it together while not losing herself in the process." And I knew it had to be a comedy. People need to laugh. He loved that idea and said yes. And then I said yes. And then we got the deal at ABC. Even when I tried to run from acting, tried to give up on it because I thought I didn't deserve it, God saw fit to make sure I couldn't stop. God made sure to always remind me that he had a plan for me, so I kept going. And I'm so glad that I did. Acting is everything to me. I once produced a short film about my mother and asked my sister, who was not an actress at all, to star in it. I said, "You look exactly like Mama. You think you could play Mama in my little short film?" And without any hesitation, she said yes. She played our mother during her illness, particularly the time when she was on a ventilator. I remember walking back into the room after my sister was set up on the hospital bed and breaking completely down. She cried too. All I saw was my mama. My sister literally brought my mama back to me for a minute. We imitated life. We told a story and we weren't afraid. That's the power of acting. Acting gives you the power to explore myriad emotions and to use that ability to create beautiful art. In that moment with my sister, acting gave us the freedom to cry and grieve, to remember the good times, but most important, to help those who watch the film grieve and find a little bit of light in their own situations. Now, after some good years and some not so good ones, all the things I worked toward have come to pass. I want to see this little movie. And as you might have guessed, the outcomes are even bigger than I could have ever imagined. But that was after I had my hand to the plow. I set my hand to the plow and worked to nurture those seeds he planted long ago. I did my best, then God did the rest. Ooh, God, I thank you. Grow your own food. Now, Tab does promote veganism, and I love it and I appreciate it. But I'm not too sure about her gardening skills, or if she has one. I could be wrong. Maybe she does. I think I have seen her go outside and pluck some stuff in some of her videos. But nonetheless, the concept that she's using these growing and these gardening terms, because that's really what life is. That's why I love being in the garden now. Nature really teaches you a lot. Like, we really are a part of nature for real. Like, you need to tend to the soil, to the plant, adding water, fertilizer, nutrients to the seed. When some stuff ain't growing properly or it's getting brown or yellow, you got to cut that bad boy off, because the plant is energy. So we don't want energy going to the dead leaves, so you get rid of them so that new ones can come in, new life, new growth, new plants, new fruits, new seeds. I love it. I love it. I love it. So what are you really saying, Tab? As an actress, influencer, and motivational speaker, I'm clear that none of these titles, none of these opportunities came about because I said, "Oh, God will bring it to me." It was because I believed God had something more for me, and I just kept working until he said, "Yes, now is the time." That's important, because sometimes we just got to get ready for opportunities. Like, I know I got a lot going for me, but I even still am having to find time to slow down, to get certain things in order, to do certain studying so that I can be prepared when certain opportunities are presented to me. Yes, I would love to have my own talk show one day and interview people, and I'm working towards that. I'm working toward getting my skits together, because like Tab, I believe people need laughter, but I also believe they need education. I also believe we have to call out hard truths about certain things that we deal with, from our health to our familial relationships to our intimate relationships, and what better way to do that through comedy, but also that's why my business is called More My Edutainment Group, so that we can have fun together and learn at the same time. But sometimes you have to get prepared for certain things. There'll be stuff that come upon you and you're not even ready for, and you won't be able to handle it, and it won't be successful if you're not prepared. Just like studying for a test. You don't study and then you flop just thinking, "Oh, God got me." God gonna show you all right. All right, so yes, now it's time. And I continue to do that. Even though things are great now, I know there is still more to come. Of course, there's something bigger out there working on our behalf. I call it God, but you might call it spirit, higher power, universe, or something else entirely. But believing in that something doesn't absolve you from the mighty work you have to do yourself. We must be responsible for our decisions. We must be willing to unpack our heart's desires and then act accordingly. Want to be healthier? Great. Treat your body as the prized possession that it is. Oh, and stop telling everybody that what you would have done if you didn't have this or that. Man, if I didn't have kids, if I didn't have these bills, if I lived there. No, honey. Stop talking about what you could have, would have, or should have done, and just go out and do it. Just go on out and do it. Stop talking about your past and do what you need to do to move toward the future. I believe in you. Your future is bright. Just walk into the light, baby. Every new year, we all make our resolutions. We say, I'm going to start my savings account, or I'm going to start that business, or I'm going to work hard to lose or gain weight. Honey, what are you waiting for? Why wait until the new year or the start of a new week to do what you wanted to do all year? Yes, energy can shift and you could all of a sudden become motivated on Monday or January 1st, but let's be honest with ourselves. If you don't have the traits and willpower you need to start today, then how much difference is waiting until the new year going to make? Let me run that back. Cultivate your commitment. Examine your motivations. Put yourself first. Y'all, Tab is really saying something here now. If you don't have the traits and willpower you need to start today, then how much difference is waiting until the new year going to make? You might not even make it to the new year. Let's be clear. And look at the times when you really might not make it to the new year. So all this self-sabotage, and I'm talking to myself. I've been eating terrible the last few days. I'm so embarrassed with myself. Like, and I know I follow the sister, her name is Orisha, and she has a platform called I Am Surviving Vegan, and I love it because she be spitting truth like fire. She would tell you about yourself, and I'd be feeling all the guilt. But she's also teaching, and she's made it very clear that we eat from our emotions. She says we have a positive relationship with negative food and a negative relationship with positive food. So basically, all the food that is good for us, all our herbs and grains and spices and vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. Some of us have a negative relationship with it. We don't like it. We don't consume enough of it. We don't know how to cook it. It's just not. Whereas the stuff that's fried, processed, the pastas, the potatoes, the heavy meats, all of that stuff we love. The snacks, all the red dye B40, all the stuff we don't need, we love. We crave. We're addicted. And so that is also tied to emotional eating. When we're bored, when we're happy, when we're sad, when we're stressed, we eat. And so, yeah, self-discipline. And I'll do that too. I'm like, okay, well, I ate crazy this week. Even if it was vegan, it was deep fried egg rolls and banana blossoms, the stuff that my customers love. And when I have a salad, they ain't paying me no mind. Yeah. Like, that stuff is still not the healthiest option as opposed to, some fresh, hearty greens and things like that. So, and I'll be like, oh, well, Monday I'm going to do better. I'm going to cleanse Monday. Like, why wait till... She right. She ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, Tab. You calling us all out, girl. If you don't have the willpower to start today, then how much difference is waiting until the new year going to make? Cultivate your commitment. Examine your motivations. Put yourself first. Are we really putting ourselves first? We say we love ourselves, or we treating ourselves, and then we go out and have a whole box of Krispy Kreme donuts or some crab legs. I'm not judging because I've been there. Sometimes I'm still there. We all in it together. But we do got to examine our motivations. Are we really putting ourselves first, or are we just emotionally tied to some of this stuff? And so the solution to that, and what I've learned, like I stated earlier, we have to basically unlearn and relearn. We got to learn how to shop again. We got to learn how to grow our own food. We got to learn how to get back to the basics. But also we have to do parasite cleanses and detoxes, because it's going to be hard to transition into eating the healthiest things when we still craving the things that are not so great for us. So that looks like detox teas and colon cleansers, enemas, parasite blood cleansers, juice fast, things that help cleanse, the blood, so that your body can kind of start off a little fresh and eliminate some of the waste, and then it'll be a little easier for you to transition to eating healthier. But trying to still eat how you eating and just drinking an herb tea every day, it ain't gonna really cut it. Put yourself first. Develop your self-compassion. Then let all those things be what drives your action so you can sustain it over the long term. Remember, faith without works is dead. Decide today to get to work. Let tomorrow or January 1st take care of itself. Today is all you know you have for sure anyway, love. And today is as good a day as any to begin taking care of your business. Tell them, Tab. TSA. TSA stands for Tab Service Announcement. We often drive our lives like we drive our cars. Some folks love to go fast. Others take their time and check out the scenery. All of that is fine, but what I don't understand is letting other folks drive your car. Sure, as children, our parents are in the driver's seat. They guide us along the way until we mature enough to take the wheel. The same goes for teachers and mentors to a certain extent. But honey, some of y'all let folks drive your car who shouldn't have even been allowed to ride in it. But there you are, handing over the keys to your mind, heart, and soul. Some people you let drive your car too long. They aren't doing any maintenance on it, haven't contributed a gallon of gas, but they are still driving your life instead of you. Honey, time's up. It's time to take your keys to your car and your life back. You are the only driver. And that is the end of chapter 2. You have to fix it first. Chapter 3 is called Everyone Can't Go. And we're going to get to that another time. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in to me reading Feeding the Soul, because that's my business, by Tabitha Brown. I'm about to download the other first 2 episodes and upload them on my YouTube so you guys can go back and rewatch them. I hope y'all have a blessed day. Thank y'all again for all y'all support and tuning in. And y'all have a great rest of y'all day. I will check in with you all later. Peace. Peace, peace. I'm on like 3 devices.